Jared.
Hi.
Okay, does this work for you?
Yeah.
You don't have to sit there with a phone up next to your ear?
Nope.
Okay.
It's on the phone.
Good. Okay, this works fine for me. If you wanted to get a speaker on or a microphone on that computer, they're like $15 at Radio Shack. So it's real easy to get a microphone hooked up to your computer if you wanted to do it the other way.
Okay.
But you'd need to get that. Usually it's a USB plug, and it's very plug and play. In other words, you buy it, you plug it in, it's working.
Okay.
Okay, I have my own ACT set of tests. I have like 6 of them, and they should be just as good as the ones we've been using with you when I've been there in person. So
Okay.
we can do exactly what we've been doing up until now. Unless, that is, you had some specific questions from your math class that you wanted to look at.
No, we're just going to do ACT again today.
Okay. About number 1. We'll start with the easy ones.
Okay. If 2x plus 5.
You can see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I am recording this session and you'll get a copy of it.
My dad's trying to hook up to a microphone real fast.
Okay. Yeah, it won't make a lot of difference. For me, it's pretty much identical. It kind of depends on what it is for you. If it's okay with you, this is perfectly fine. Otherwise, we can try the other way.
Okay.
So what's the first step in solving this equation?
Subtracting 5 to the other side.
So what's the next line?
2x equals 22.
12.
Yeah,
We're
equals 12.
subtracting 5.
Yeah.
We're always going to do the opposite of what we're doing on the one side of the equation.
Yep.
So if we're multiplying, we're going to divide. If we're dividing, we're going to multiply. If we're adding, we're going to subtract. If we're subtracting, we're going to add.
Uh-huh.
So x equal
6.
is one of their logic questions.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
So all horses that run fast are brown. Horse A is not brown. Horse B runs fast.
Okay.
Which of those statements is true?
Horse. H.
No? H says that all brown horses run fast, which is different than saying all horses that run fast are brown. In other words, I could have 100 horses, 100 brown horses, and my 50 fastest horses are all brown. So I would say all horses that run fast are brown, but not all my brown horses are fast. However, if I say that all horses that run fast are brown, and I say horse B runs fast, then horse B has to be brown. All horses that run fast are brown. This is a horse that runs fast, he has to be brown. That means there aren't any yellow horses that run fast, there aren't any black horses that run fast. Every fast horse runs brown. Every fast horse is brown. Well, if B runs fast, then he's brown.
Okay.
All right, how much greater is x minus 2? How much greater than x minus 2 is x plus 5? Let me replace x minus 2 with 6 and x plus 5 with 11. So how much greater than 6 is x plus 5? I'm sorry, how much greater than 6 is 11?
5.
Okay, how do we get that?
By
Subtracting 11 minus 6, right? Okay, so we want to subtract x plus 5, the second quantity, minus the first quantity.
okay.
What is that answer? When you take away the second set of parentheses, what do you get? It's x plus 2. Notice that I have a minus there and a minus there. Those two minuses turn into a plus. Okay? So now simplify that. What is it?
3.
Well, it's x minus x. Those two go away. But then I have 5 plus 2. That's equal to 7. So the answer is 7. That's how much greater than x minus 2, x plus 5 is. Is it 7 greater? In other words, x plus 5 minus x minus 2 is equal to 7. Now those first set of parentheses I can remove without doing anything. Those aren't necessary. They don't really help anything. When I go to remove the second set of parentheses, I have to make sure I distribute that negative sign to both terms. So it becomes x plus 5. Well, when I distribute it to x, it becomes minus x. But when I distribute it to the minus 2, it becomes plus 2. Now, there's no parentheses to worry about. So I have a plus x and a minus x. Those cancel each other out. The only thing I have left is plus 5 and plus 2.
Okay.
All right. So what this entire first 4 lines of this problem says is that the amount of money they raise is equal to how many boxes they sell. That's all. That's the whole thing it says. So if a student sold 15 boxes, how much money would they raise? In other words, what is A of 15?
4 times
That's it. That's the answer. Some of these are very, very straightforward, very simple. Okay, let me go to the next page here. So it's currently priced at $6.60, and it's going on sale for 20% off. What's its new price? Incidentally, Jared, you should have your calculator there. You should always be set up with the exact conditions you're going to have when you take the test. In other words, you need a pencil, scratch paper, and a calculator. So how are we going to do this problem?
Is it B?
Yeah, that was a... No, it isn't D. Try not to guess. There's a huge tendency to want to guess at these problems. And this problem is very easy. There's no reason for you to guess at it. There's a way to figure it out. It's easy. It's precise. You're going to get the exact answer. If you go down to 7-Eleven and you're buying something and it says there's 10% off, what are you going to pay for it?
10% less than what?
Yeah. So if there's 20% off, what are you going to pay for it?
20% less.
So let's figure out what 20% of this is. Use your calculator. Multiply 0.2 times that.
That's going to get 132.
Okay, and now that's your discount. So you're going to pay $6.60 minus $1.32. Now what's the answer?
$5.28.
Right. Now, the quicker way to do this is if you're getting 20% off, you're paying 80%, right?
Yep.
Multiply that by 80% and you immediately get 528. One step instead of two. It'll save you a little bit on these problems if you remember to do that. Now, likewise, if I said soda is priced at $6.60, but there is a 7% tax, what's your total price going to be? Well, I could multiply it by 7% to get the amount of tax and then add the amount of tax to that. But the better way to do it is to multiply it by 1.07, and that gives you the price, the total price immediately. One step again.
Okay.
So when you're adding a premium like a tax, you add it to 1. When you are taking a discount, like this problem, you subtract it. It's 1 minus 0.2. So I'm going to multiply the thing by 0.8 to get what my price will be.
That makes sense.
Yeah. A little bit of a strange question. Which of the following cannot be the value of A plus B? Well, that tells you a lot of important information right there. Solve for A for me.
E.
Solve for B.
9.
So what's A plus B?
17.
So how can I have 4 possible answers here that are correct? I have to have 4 answers that are correct because they're asking me what cannot be the value of that. So 4 of them have to be the value of that. So where do we go wrong in solving this? What is A again? It's not 8. It's plus or minus 8. Notice that when you square minus 8, you get 64. And B?
Plus or minus 9.
Okay, so now, could you get minus 17?
Yep.
Can you get minus 1?
Yep.
Can you get plus 1?
Yep.
Can you get 17?
Yep.
Can you get 145? And believe it or not, the ACT frequently has these huge disparities between answers. You really don't need a calculator for this. Calculator didn't help you at all. 145 was so out of whack that you could almost figure that out without even knowing anything about taking square roots or anything.
Yep.
And that's very common. So kind of look for that. They really, they let you use your calculator and it seems like it would be helpful, but you really don't need it. For this one, this is a very typical problem. The calculator doesn't do any good at all. It's like 145 stands out like a sore thumb as long as you know how to do it.
Okay.
Somebody just plug in a microphone? By chance?
What was that?
Did anybody just plug in a microphone? We can test that. If I heard some strange noise. It sounded like a microphone was being plugged in or something. No?
My dad plugged the microphone into the phone.
You want to, okay, into your phone, not the computer.
Yeah, I plugged it into the phone.
Okay. If he plugs it into the computer, then we'll have communication by way of the computer and you won't have to use the phone. But like I said, it makes no difference for me at all. It's virtually the same for me. So as long as it's okay for you, we don't need to switch over. But if you have a microphone and if you can plug it into the computer, that probably is the preferred way to do this in the long run. All right. What is the measure of BFG? AC is parallel to DG. In other words, those two lines that look like they're parallel are parallel.
Okay.
So what does that make the measure of that angle?
140.
Okay. How does that expression evaluate when x is equal to minus 3? Do these one step at a time. Don't try to combine steps. That's where you make mistakes. Okay, so the way I would suggest doing this is like this. Now, we'll evaluate each section. What's that equal to?
9.
What's the next term?
18.
Plus or minus?
Plus 18. Minus 18.
So what's the answer?
The 18 cancels to the out, so it's just 9.
All right. What's the value of the absolute value of 1 minus a when a equals 12? What is 1 minus 12 equal to? All right, Jared, you got to be able to do these kind of problems. Otherwise, you're going to miss half the questions on the ACT.
Okay.
So this is pre-algebra stuff. We need to be able to add and subtract positive and negative numbers with 100% accuracy. 1 minus 12.
Negative
11. Okay. What is the absolute value of negative 11?
11.
Okay. C. All right, we got AB equals C, and C equals KB. What is K equal to? And this little thing right here, usually you don't have to pay attention to those. That's just kind of covering them from division by 0. So if AB equals C and KB equals C, what can I say about AB and KB?
They both equal C.
Which means they're equal to one another. So AB has to equal KB. What's K equal to?
B.
Well, how do I solve this for K? What can I do with the B's?
Get rid of them.
Well, I can divide both sides by B, as long as I know that B is not 0. And they tell me, that's what they're telling me when they say that statement right there, is that B isn't 0. So I can divide both sides by B, and I get A equal K. J. X to the 3rd raised to the 13th power equals what?
X to the 16.
No, that would be if you added the exponents. In this case, you need to multiply the exponents.
X to the 39.
Yeah, let's go through the exponent rules. Use B as a common base. What's that equal to? Excuse me? B to the x times B to the y equals what?
B, X, Y.
X plus y. In other words, 2 to the third times 2 to the fourth would equal 2 to the seventh. When you are multiplying the bases, you add the exponents. Okay? When you are dividing the bases, what do you do to the exponents?
Subtract.
And when you are exponentiating the bases, what do you do to the exponents?
Multiply.
Those are the three rules you have to remember. And they will cover all questions kind of like this. So since we're exponentiating, we're going to multiply the exponents. We get x to the 39.
Okay, that makes sense.
2 over x is greater than or equal to 1/7. What is the largest possible value for x? Well, notice that if we solve this traditionally, we have to multiply both sides by x. Problem is we don't know if x is negative or positive. So when we multiply both sides of an inequality by a variable that we don't know if it's negative or positive, we don't know if we have to change the direction of that sign. So it's not so easy to solve this algebraically. But this is an excellent case where you should back solve.
Okay.
Where are we going to start? What number? Well, in other words, which answer are we going to check first?
28.
Yeah, the largest. In other words, if we checked 7 and that worked, that wouldn't tell us anything because 14 could be the answer, 15 could be the answer, 28 could be the answer. So we're going to check the largest and work our way down. So when x equals 28, is that a true equation or true inequality?
Yeah.
Well, we would have 2 over 28, which is equal to 1 over 14. Is 1 over 14 greater than or equal to 1 over 7?
No.
So 28 does not work. About 15.
Doesn't work either.
About 14.
They're going to be equal.
Aha. So 14 works. So 14 has to be the answer. It's the largest possible value of x that makes that true. Let's see, we're only scheduled for a half-hour session today, is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I ended up with a cancellation. So that's fine, that's a good place to stop. Gives you an idea of how the online sessions work. I am recording this, and I will send a copy of it to your email that you put when you signed up.
Okay.
It'll take a couple hours because it takes a couple hours to process it. It might not even be till tomorrow morning because I have a lot of sessions today and I can't process them while I'm having a session. So, but you'll be able to see a copy of this recording just to see how that works also.
Okay.
Okay? All right, Jared. Talk to you next time.
All right, thanks.
You can just, to get out of this program, just click on the X at the top right of the Go to Meeting window, and that gets you out.
Okay.
All right? All right. Bye-bye.